What's up? My name is Melissa, and this is Wild on glasshouseradio.com, part of the Howard University Radio Network. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Wild. I am so excited today. Now, this is the first. Now, we always had singular guests, but we never had a family today. We have brother and sister owner of Sunset Raw Juice Bar. Introduce yourself, guys.
Hey guys, my name is Gerrard Sheppard. I am one of the co-founders of Sunset Raw Juice Bar.
Hi guys, my name is Shanae and Sheppard, and I'm also the co-founder of Sunset Raw Juice Bar, sister to Gerrard, and the only two people missing are our moms and our dad, and their name is Larry Sheppard and Showanda Sheppard.
Okay, guys, thank y'all. First of all, thank y'all for letting me come here. Absolutely. You know, we're in closing hours. Yeah. You know, y'all giving a girl opportunity, and I'm always happy. So let's get first. What makes y'all wild?
I would say what makes Sunset Raw Juice Bar wild is the innovative ingredients we have. Okay. A lot of juice bars you see, and this is not to compare, but a lot of juice bars you see stick with one type of menu. Okay. We have herbs, we have acai, we have dragon fruit, we use turmeric, we use pepper, we use coconut oil. So we have all different types of things added to our menu to give you the full experience, the health experience. So I would say that is what makes us wild. And then I think our staff makes us wild. We have some fun, funky people that work for us from all different types of life, and they just add that extra wildness to us.
All right, you?
Yeah, I would have to agree with what Shanae said for sure. Definitely our smoothie menu is definitely different in most of the spots in the area. We try to focus on having at least one superfood in each smoothie. Okay. Another place they have like 3 or 4 ingredients and that's it, but you know, we actually preach health and wellness. And with us preaching that, we want to make sure you get the most out of your experience at Sunset Raw Juice Bar. So
our listeners are, 18 to 35, they're licensed, they're alumni. Yeah. They might not have all the understanding of what superfood is. Can you explain what superfood is?
Yeah, absolutely. Superfood is about 8 to 10 foods on this planet that's considered like naturally dense and more dense than your average. Okay. So one of the superfoods that I love is maca powder.
Explain what that is, because you're talking different languages to me now.
So maca powder, it looks like an onion, but they grind it up into a powder. Okay. The benefits go on for days. I have some people come in to receive the benefits of nail health, skin health, hair health. And then I'll have, a different, generation that comes in for more of like libido boosting effects that it has. So when we say that the benefits of these fruit and veggies, it can go on for days, like we actually mean that.
No. Okay, so what does the name is so unique? What does it mean? Explain the origin of the name.
The origin is pretty funny. We were sitting in my parents' kitchen. Okay. And we wanted to have a name that gave you a feeling of what we saw when we saw juice and the brand. And for us, it was sitting back, looking at the sun, the purples, the oranges, and just drinking a juice or biting into a fruit and just feeling that moment of relaxation where nothing else mattered, work didn't matter, kids didn't matter, running around didn't matter. It was just the peace you got looking at the sunset. And so that's where it came from, Sunset Raw Juice Bar. And of course we had to incorporate the juice bar so people knew who we were, but Sunset, and trust me, we had so many names before we came up with Sunset. it's really funny. Like, we were like, oh, Eden and this and that. You know, we had so many names, but then we were like, but just to simplify it, when you look at the sunset, it's just everyone.
Yes.
You can be in Europe, you can be in Africa, you can be in Brazil. When you see that sunset, it's just, you know.
It's wusa, woo, like a meditation. Meditation. That's
it.
Yes, no.
That's
okay.
it.
So I did my homework, I did my research. I know that it was an aunt that, helped started this whole baby, and that she had a disease that sadly made her transition, and that this is how y'all basically birth Sunset Raw. Can you go back to the moment in time when y'all found the juicing machine? Because explain that feeling, because I felt like it was a spiritual awakening. It was like, woo, like when I read the story.
Yeah. Honestly, when we saw, it was actually a book. It was a juicing book. Okay. And it was almost bittersweet. It was sad that we were packing her house up. We were cleaning her house up. It was actually my dad's sister. Okay. So, I mean, we're all a close family. So to see him, in his moment of sadness, and of course us, it was a sad moment. But then just digging through things, and we see this book, and we're like, juicing? Like, we knew about it. We tried to experience it. But it was very new to us. So I think from there, it was just almost like, what can we do with this? I think she was trying to show in her last days, these are ways to heal the body. She was taking a bucket of pills, and I think she was just tired. When you get to that last moment where you're just tired, yes. I think she was tired, and I think she was trying to find natural ways to heal the body. So for us, when we saw it, it was bittersweet, but it also birthed this what we have today. I don't know if you want to add to that.
No, you hit everything on the head. It was definitely an awakening that we had when we found that book. Everyone changed their lifestyle in the Sheppard household. Being born and raised in Owings Mills, we don't have many healthy options in the area. So it meant a lot for us to open up the first one in our community to help out our people, because we walk past strawberries and goji berries in the grocery stores every day, but we don't know the benefits of them. We depend on doctors, which is fine to a certain degree, but there's other ways of helping yourself out here as well. So that's why we're here, to kind of incorporate health and wellness to our community.
No, you talked about it. It was like, we don't see this in that community. Why do you think in the Black community, and it's 2020 about to go into 21, it's rare for us to see healthy food store options? Yeah. We'll see liquor stores, we'll see everything else, soul food spots. And I'm not throwing shade to Black businesses that own soul food spots and stuff, but we don't have options for us as a community. Why do y'all think that?
For me, I think it's about people only do what you allow. I think we don't demand enough in our communities for businesses to step up and bring healthy options to us. I think that for years we've been taught, like you said, soul food is what we know. We can date that back into slavery, where soul food is what we know. But I think we don't take charge of our communities enough to demand, hey, where are our grocery stores? Where are our fresh produce? I think the moment we step up and start holding people accountable, and if it's your local politician, if that's what it takes, you have to hold people accountable for your community. No one's gonna look out for your community like you will. Right. So I think it's also about people thinking that, Black people only eat a certain way. Back when we were vegetarian, I can't tell you how many of our friends were vegetarian and looked at us like, you don't eat meat? And now it's catching on, but it's also education. We have to educate ourselves and also expand our horizons as to this health industry. Health does not mean eating like a rabbit, carrot, celery, ice, whatever air. I heard a meme like, oh, vegetarians only eat ice and water. It's more than that. It's about an actual lifestyle change, not a diet, but a lifestyle change. So I think back to what your question was, which is a great question, we have to demand more first and foremost from people coming into our communities, and not allowing someone to dictate to us what we should be eating, what we should be consuming, because our diet is very different than a lot of other cultures.
Right. You want to add to it?
No. She took the words right out of my mouth. She's right.
No, but you mentioned about slavery, and that was actually a question. Yeah. Black people, we have a very hard relationship with food because that was the only thing that we could take from the Middle Passage, you know, our culture and tradition. So how do we have that conversation? You know, it's the holidays, people literally, it's a tradition. You're going to make macaroni and cheese, candy yams, and you know, vegan, you know, you're going to do it the healthy way. Like this, and some scientists have said and research have said the reason why we were able to survive the Middle Passage was because we had more sodium, that sodium. So how do we start that conversation? Because it's a very delicate.
It is a very delicate conversation. I think for me, the biggest thing is showing, so once I became vegetarian, I wanted everybody to be vegetarian.
Okay.
So what I did was, you know, people were saying, well, I don't want to eat, you know, I want to enjoy macaroni and cheese. So I showed them how to make mac and cheese with, you know, vegan cheese.
Yes.
You know, I showed them how, if you want to get a meat taste or a chicken taste, how to take mushrooms and season it the same way, and you get that chicken feel. So I think that if we start with the conversation is, you're not missing out on anything. I always tell people, if I gave you a piece of boiled chicken, would you eat that? No seasoning, no sauce. They go, oh, no. Why not? Because there's no seasoning, no sauce, no whatever else. So what you're really enjoying is the seasoning and the sauce. So we take that same idea and apply it to vegetables or mushrooms or, you know, whatever else. Beans are my favorite thing. I guarantee you people will start to see, oh, it's not that bad. I think it's just a thought of missing out on something that makes them afraid to have that conversation.
No, it's a very hard conversation. And when y'all made that change to going from, well, originally meat eaters, then to vegetarian, then vegan, did y'all feel a spiritual, spiritual and physical change? Can y'all talk about, because, you know, anything that happens physically has to happen spiritually before. So can y'all talk about that?
Oh man, I can go on for, how many segments do we have? Because I can go on for hours.
Go ahead, girl. Talk about it. We here.
I'm telling you, so I would start physically. It's so funny. The day after I went vegetarian, I went outside. I remember it so vividly. The colors outside were so bright.
Wow.
I mean, I could see green. I could see blue. I looked at the sky. It was blue. It was so bright. So for me, physically, that was the biggest thing. But spiritually, I mean, if we really get deep into it,
let's go.
If we really get,
we're wild. They already call us crazy. So
I'm telling you, right?
Go ahead.
So we know about fluoride in our water, right?
Yes.
And we know about it calcifying our pineal gland. I think for me, once you start to, and Dr. Sebi is very big on this, once you start to alkaline your body, right? Once you said Dr. Sebi. Yeah, and you know, he was all about alkalining his body for that very reason, because food is spiritual.
Right.
And I always tell people, you know, and this is not no shade to meat eaters, but you are what you eat. So if you're consuming death, which that's what it is, you know, we're killing animals. If you're consuming death, you're going to put out death. And Dr. Sebi is the biggest speaker on this. But if you consume life and alkaline your body, you're going to put that out. So I think for me, spiritually, I started to feel this full circle. I'm always trying to get back to the original man and woman, which to me was Adam and Eve, right? Mm-hmm. And the way they lived to me was perfect because they were created in the direct image of God. So the way they ate was a direct correlation from God. You know, he said, this is how you are to eat. This is what I provided for you to eat. So for me to think I will never be Adam and Eve, you know, I'm not gonna ever be like, of course. But if I can strive for some type of getting back to who I was, because it was taken from me, right? If I can strive to get back to that and start with food, something as simple as food, trying to get knowledge of who we are has been hidden from us. But if I can start with my food, then that's at least what I can take control over. So for me, spiritually, it was a full circle of getting back to God, to my creator, to my source, you know, and food is our source of life. So that was my biggest spiritual awakening.
Mic drop.
I wish y'all could be here because he just nodded his head like, dang, my sister just saying it all. Like,
I'm not even going to try to follow up after that. Like,
oh, God. gosh, he is funny.
Okay, so
I'm quiet now.
it's okay. Nah, I'm gonna have questions for him. I'm gonna have questions. Nah, trust me. So basically, what are the power of fruits and vegetables? Can power in fruits literally get rid of every disease known to man? Like, I know y'all not doctors, but just...
I would think yes, and my only reason for saying this is that in these remote villages somewhere across the world that we have yet to, find and explore, they don't have Aleve and Tylenol and any type of prescriptions that we have. They walk outside and they have goji berries, they have maca pot, they have turmeric, they have ginger, and they are healthy. And if they're not, they know exactly how to heal themselves without getting on the phone and calling a doctor because they don't have that option.
Right.
So I definitely think that with consistency and the right mix of this and that, I definitely think that we can definitely heal ourselves of a lot of the issues and problems we have nowadays.
And just to add on to that, food is also, it's a preventative, it has prevention for me. I think that we wait till we get diabetes or wait till we get cancer and then we're like, oh, what can I do?
Right.
But if you take the steps to prevent these things from happening, food is your life, because that's what we consume the most of, food, water, and air. If you perfect those, you are golden to me.
No. So then that asks the more, I don't say touchy question, but could COVID have been less harmful or preventable if America had changed their diet?
That's a good question.
Let me tell you this. This is a great question. You were on it. I laughed, right? When COVID hit and I saw people in Walmart and Giant and Wegmans fighting over toilet paper and paper towels. But you walk past the vitamin section and it was full. I'm like, we're missing something, right? We're missing something.
Right.
So to me, our immune systems are already compromised because we're getting into it. You have chemtrails. If you get into pollution, whatever. Lotion.
Yes, perfume, scents, all that.
Exactly. And so our immune systems are already compromised. But if we take the necessary steps to boost our immune systems, I think COVID would have been less impactful.
And then that asks a more question is, if the FDA, who controls the antibiotics, why are they not, pushing vegetables? Like, shout out to Chef Jazz, we talked about cannabis and how, cannabis is something that grows freely and that it could help with anxiety so calmly and everything. And they won't legalize it. They keep illegalizing, they're starting to legalize it, but still, they would rather do chemicals that...
Exactly.
So where do you feel with the Medicare, the healthcare, the whole antibiotic system and the fruits and vegetables? How does this all mix together?
So we're trying to live, and you know how the FDA comes after people? Okay. No, listen. I will say this, right? We have to focus on what is pushed to us and what is kept secret, right? I think when you look at a magician, right, they may do the trick with the left hand, but the real trick is happening in the other hand, right? So we always have to be mindful of that. What's being pushed to you, is it beneficial, right? And who is it targeting? Because you'll see a lot of times they will target specific groups, like people of color, or Black folks, or first responders need to get the shot and vaccine first. But why is that, right?
And we have a very complex history. We used to be, they tested on us,
Tuskegee,
I forgot her Virginia, forgot her name, Black, who in Baltimore. Her cells still live today. We have a complex history. So keep going.
Yeah. So I would just say be mindful of what they're pushing to you and what's hidden. If you can go to the earth and get something, go to the earth and get something. It does not have to be made in a lab or chemically put together. Be mindful of that. Try to go more natural as possible. That's my biggest thing I would say.
Mic drop.
No, the whole entire time he just keeps saying, y'all, he's just like, my sister, wow. She, okay.
She's hitting it. Point after point, she's hitting it.
So what I love about y'all is that it's rare that y'all build a company with soul. a company with love and a company. When I first walked in here, guys, I went to their Owings Mills location before I came to Columbia, and I was like, oh my God, yes. And I was like, it's too far. Then luckily, they just made the location right up the street from me, and I was like, okay, work. So talk about building a company with love, because it's so easy in a very corporate mindset to lose that soul with passion, and worry about the dollar.
Yeah, we wanted our businesses to reflect who we are as people. And this family was built on love. Mm-hmm. We thrive off of love, and we will stay strong off of love. So we expect our employees to resemble the same thing. So coming here, you don't have to be the world's best barista. We just want you to be a good person. Mm-hmm. And from that point on, we can work with you. And, we want our guests to walk away not only saying that, hey, the honey citrus spice was bomb, mm-hmm. but we want them to say, hey, like, that kid at the register was so awesome. Like, we want you to walk away with an experience. No. And part of having that experience is, being engaging and showing love. And we're not just doing it because we're behind a register. Most places just, hi, hello, welcome, they're robots. We want it to be actually, like, genuine. Right. We want you to actually get to know someone's name. We want you, on the Monday after the weekend, we want you to ask how their kid's soccer game went this weekend. It's more relationship based. And like I said, we pride ourselves on being different. So it's just one of those aspects.
And shouts out to Melissa for coming to our Owings Mills location. And Gerrard was just telling me, he was like, she supports all the time. Yeah, and he was like, I've seen her twice. I was like, I've seen her 3 times. She's in here supporting all the time. So thank you so much. Because a lot of times when we're in these communities, we want people to come to us because we're in the community. So we love our people that come in and see us. I will say this, the good thing about Sunset and us being owners mm-hmm. is that we have our hand in every aspect of it. We're not just sitting back in the office, in a corporate office with our legs crossed and our arms folded. We are cleaning the toilets, we are cleaning the bathrooms, all the way up to everything in between and up above. So when we say we are invested, not only just with, our time, but our hearts are in this. When we see people like you, who we see on a regular, and we know your name, and we know you get a honey citrus spice, and it makes us feel good that you enjoy coming here. So when we say love is in this, we truly love our customers. You guys become like family to us, honestly.
No. Okay, we gotta take a quick commercial break, but we'll be back, guys.
Sounds good.
Okay. Remember to check out Wild Theme Music playlist on Apple Music. Every wild person needs theme music. Go to _wild, WILD, human, HUMAN _ on our IG page and click the link tree for the playlist. This is Melissa on glasshouseradio.com, part of the Howard University Radio Network, and this is Wild. Hey guys, welcome back. We are back.
Yes, we're back.
Oh my God, so we talked about everything about nutrition, but I'm ready to go into business because, let's go. So first of all, let's talk about Black ownership.
Yes.
First of all, that's why I fell in love with y'all. Y'all young, I think we're close in age, and y'all are Black ownership. So talk about the importance of being ownership, because our people have yet to realize ownership is the key.
Yeah, it's extremely important, for more businesses to be Black owned, especially in this day and age. Mm-hmm. It feels great to break down barriers mm-hmm. that have been built to hold us back and to keep us down. So every day we walk in here, we know we're beating the odds, right? Which is a great feeling. We're super blessed to have that feeling. But the other driving force, and a part of it that feels amazing as well, is the fact that we're showing other young Black kids and maybe even adults that, hey, like, you can create what you want to create out of life. Sure. There are different systems that have been set up to keep us down. Yes. But with persistence and consistency and, God willing, this is your plan, you can make happen what you want to happen. And that's why I'm happy we're doing this podcast as well, because we're speaking to everyone out there, that sees, a lot of ownership that's white, or Indian or whatever it may be. You don't see many Black owned businesses on the forefront, right? Especially in media. Yeah. So And we're open to talk to anyone that's looking to get going, because what's the good and use of knowledge if you don't spread it? Right? So someone
Jim, bar drop.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Right? So someone paved the way for us to be here, and we're doing the same thing for the next generation.
And what's the saying, like, you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach him how to fish, he eats for a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what this is about. You know, this is going to go past Gerrard and I. You know, this is going to go generations down. And not even just in our family. You know, we want other, like Gerrard said, other Black kids to see representation. It's so important, it's key, that young Black women, men see people in positions that they can reach to. We are just average people. You know, we worked hard, we had God on our side and, you know, favor, but we're just average. And I think that if I was a young kid and saw somebody like that older than me, I would be like, man, what can I do? If it's a lemonade stand, let me talk to them and figure out how to get my lemonade sold, you know, worldwide or sold locally. But I will always say representation is key. We have to show Black kids that it is possible. You know, it's nothing far-fetched, it's nothing out of your reach. You can achieve it, and not just because, you know, you're smart, but because you have a network. You know, that's important. We don't teach Black kids that there is a network behind it. Gerrard knows a lot of people who play for the Ravens. I know a lot of people just by being locally. It's a team of us. It's a group. It's a community, and that's how we got here.
Let's go. Okay, you just taught network. We have to, as a people, get out of the crab and the barrel mentality.
One makes it, we all make it. You
right.
know?
And like we gotta get out of this thing that there's not enough room for all of us. Prime example is your competition. I'm gonna use this quote, air quotes, will be turning natural in DC and stuff, and how it's room for both of you guys to exist in the same space. Like,
absolutely.
Like, yeah.
I have friends who go to Turning Natural who live in DC.
Okay.
And I'm like, please go there, please support, you know, because we as Black people, we cannot say, oh, don't go there because no, by all means, if you're in DC, please go support that Black juice bar. And it doesn't take money out of my pocket. It doesn't make me feel less than. It doesn't make our juice bar look less. It's about coming together and saying, how can we keep raising up the ladder? How can we keep pushing the envelope so the next generation can be better and see? And this is why I think that somebody like us and Turning Natural, it's a great collaboration, because I think she has DC, we got the Baltimore, you know, and we can come together and just take over this whole area, and it'd be a whole Black juice bar, you know, reaching. So I love it. I love it.
Are you gonna bar drop?
No, she hit on the head. You know, there's plenty of space, and at the end of the day, as long as we're helping our people to become healthier, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Like that's the one and only goal, is to help our people become healthier. Everyone's in the search of feeling better. We just don't know how to go about it.
Yeah.
And as long as we're around to, you know, incorporate healthy juices and superfood packed smoothies and acai bowls and wellness shots, like that's our one and only sole purpose, and that's what we're here to do, nothing else.
No.
And I tell Gerrard and my mom and dad, we don't see other people as competition, right? Our only competition is us. What did we do on Monday, and what can we do better on Tuesday to get better than what we did on Monday? You know what I'm saying? So it's not about a competition. It's not about a crab in a barrel. We are uplifting. And if we're preaching life, if we're giving people life, how can we be anything other than that? So you will never see us downplay another juice bar. You will never see us try to pit one another, because they've done that so many years to us as Black people. Mm-hmm. We've seen it with colorism. Oh, white skin versus dark skin and this and that. We've been doing it so long. When do we stop? Right. So I think that we want to be the generation that stops the crab in a barrel. We want to be the generation that learns how to collab with another business, Black-owned business, because guess what? White folks do it all the time. You see what I'm saying? They do it all the time. So why do we feel the need to say, you're my competition, I gotta look at you as my enemy? No, you're my brother, you're my sister. Let's look at each other as family and take over the world and just be like masterminds of the juice world. That's how I see it.
No, so with all to say that, are y'all looking to scale the business? Are y'all looking to go into more franchise? What is Sunset Raw 5 years. And I know 5 years, you don't want to say, give too much, but where are y'all going? Because I think talking about capital and everything, Black people, we don't understand business.
Yeah,
it's a personal thing, and I understand, but we don't understand it. So talk about scaling and capital and funding and all that jazz.
So I would say for us, this is only our second location in 4 years.
Yeah, going for
4 years. So this is still like our baby.
Okay.
Right? So we're still very attached to it. We're still cultivating it and building it. I think years down the line we'll think about that. But right now we are just in love with just being so hands-on and changing the menu when we decide to, oh, this fruit is so good, let's add it. So that to us gives us purpose. So I think that going a franchise route kind of removes you from that. And right now we are just in love with like being in love with the business,
which is perfect.
Yeah. And the thing is, we're here every day.
Okay.
One of us are here. We're at the other location. So to us, it's like to franchise would say to us, oh, you don't need to be there as much. And for us, being here, like I said, is our sole purpose. So. Right now, I don't see a franchise, but maybe down the line, so we can take it across the seas and share it with our brothers and sisters on the other side of the pond.
No. So y'all talk about the love, but I don't want people to get confused. Business is still business because a lot of times with entrepreneurship, we romanticize it.
Yeah.
Society loves to romanticize entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Tell everybody the truth about entrepreneurship. Just be real.
Yeah, it's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. We will have hiccups, plenty of hiccups, but one of my trainers in the past, he always told me that being an entrepreneur is kind of like being a fireman. You have to understand, like, you come to work every day, like, how many fires can I put out today? And that's God honest truth about it. From everything from the building process to contracts and lawyers and employees and insurance, to payroll, to even guests coming in sometimes, it's a process. And at the end of the day, you depend on guests to come in the shop. So, other places, they may have slower days where, owners start to stress because at the end of the day, the money you're bringing in, you still have to do payroll. You have to buy product. You have to do, you have to pay to keep the lights on, BG&E and Verizon, like the list goes on. So, it's nothing really pretty about it. And I always say shame on people that try to make it look beautiful because it's not. It's a grind. It's a grind. And anyone that knows a grind knows nothing about the grind is beautiful. You're scratching, you're clawing, you're getting no sleep. But at the same time, if you're built for it, you're built for it.
Right.
I love what I do. I love not getting sleep. I love late nights. I love early mornings because that's just who I am as a person. But overall, it is a grind. So if you sign up for it, just be ready for what you're taking on.
No.
It is, trust me, I had to exhale. It is not pretty, right? It is not pretty. I think people see this.
Right.
And see you in here ringing people and smiling and
it's like it's all good. It's Gucci. Like I have no problem.
Yeah, I go to bed every night at 8 and I'm up. Like no, it is not like that. I will say I did not expect it to be as much of a grind as it is. And again, it's not a bad thing, but when you invest, so much into a business and you want it to be great, you have to grind. But yeah, there's plenty of nights where you're up late. There's plenty of nights where you don't get sleep or you're up early and you're constantly trying to be better than you were the next day. So I will say, like Gerrard said, there's a side of it people don't see, like the lawyers and the leases and this and that. So any entrepreneur knows that, especially in the beginning stages, it's not easy.
So how did y'all go about obtaining the knowledge? Because a lot of times that's what stops people.
Yeah.
Is that, all right, I want to create this, but this is not in my community. Yeah. I don't know nobody. And sadly, soft skills of going up and talking to people and networking is we're in the A, let's text. How do you go obtain about this? Because I remember in doing my research, you had chefs in California help come up with the menus. Like this is a whole gumbo of things. A vegetable gumbo.
Yes. Marinated for plenty of nights. Okay, so honestly, the way we obtained the knowledge was just jumping in. Okay. Right? So we did not allow fear to be our driving force. right? So a lot of times we will, this is just outside of Sunset, as people, we will take other people's fears, internalize it, and then project it onto whatever it is we're dealing with, whether it's you getting a job or a relationship, whatever it might be. We will take somebody else's fears and project it onto that. So one thing we did was kept it the four of us, right? Because we had the vision, we knew what we wanted to be, and we knew where it was going, right? So when you keep a lot of noise out, that right there creates a bubble where you know that between the four of us, there's not going to be fear, there's not going to be negative energy, right? And then from here, you have to create a network. Okay, let me dig back into my log of who I know. And from there, that person knows a person that knows a person, and now you didn't even realize it. You're connected to somebody all the way in California by two people.
Right.
Your lawyer has always been here, but by one person that you didn't even know that they knew. So I think that was the biggest thing, no fear, and then just talking to people and figuring out how they can benefit you. You know, I always tell people, we hate to say I'm using somebody, right? But using someone without any giving back to that person is bad, right? But if you're using them in a sense of their knowledge, it's not a bad thing if you're knowing how to give back to them. So we tapped into the people we knew, and that was the biggest thing I think that we did, was just talking and networking and keeping fear out of it and just jumping in head first.
No. And so you came from the NFL world to now owning a business. Can you see the similarities and what's the differences and the alikes that from these two worlds? Because I feel like they're very similar.
Yeah. One thing that has translated from the NFL football field to owning a business is definitely the work that you have to put in. I think I touched upon that earlier.
Yeah,
but
you did.
It's you know, in the NFL, it's long days. You know, you don't see your family at all in preseason. You miss some meals here and there. You're on the road most of the time. Your body's beat up. Your body's worn down, but you're still expected to perform. It's the same thing in business, being an entrepreneur. You may miss meals. Me and her probably don't eat lunch at all. You know, we snack on the go, but you know, like I said, it's a part of the lifestyle that you sign up for. So, and then also having to perform day after day. You know, you don't have time to really sit down and think about the previous day. It's like tomorrow's a new day, get up and perform. If you did great today, okay, get up and do better tomorrow. And I'm just driven by success, right? So we're not complacent. If we have a great day, a great weekend, like we want to do double that next week because we know we can. And you know, and like Shanae said, like we compete with ourselves, like, and it is so beautiful. And I'm very thankful and blessed that I think this way, that, you know, I don't take excuses for myself or anyone else. You know, we're all capable of doing amazing things, and no one really cares about anything. I just want everyone to work harder. Like that's my motto, is like no one cares, just work harder, you know, and
you should ask me that question, how his NFL career has translated here.
Okay, we're gonna ask you because you got all the people.
But yeah, it's just I would definitely say the biggest aspect is definitely the grind. It translated right over, and I'm thankful that I had, you know, my NFL career to obviously prepare me for these days, because it feels good. In an NFL game, like, your back is against the wall, you know, the fans are screaming at you. I've heard every name possible in a book coming out the tunnel. And I'm not used to being down, but I've been in game situations where the odds have been stacked against me, and I have to perform.
Right.
It's 5 degrees outside. You gotta catch the ball. You know what I'm saying? Your LCL or MCL and your knee is sprained. You gotta run a perfect route and get the ball. It doesn't matter. Like I said, no excuses. I just find a way to get the job done.
Yeah, my turn. So, okay, let me just say this. I've been watching him play all levels, right?
Okay, yeah.
And so when he's on the field, he's a different person, right? When he comes off, he's dry, very calm, you know, very chill. But when he's on the field, he's different, right?
Right.
So when he is at Sunset, he has it in his, I think he's still an athlete in his mind and here, right?
Right.
So when he talks to
his face throughout this.
when he talks to the employees, like we're all in a huddle, like, you know, right before the game, and he's like, look, he really doesn't take excuses, right? So I think that for me challenges everyone around him to be better, because he'll call me like, hey, did you order this? And I'm like, yeah, like, and he's like, no, you didn't. And I'm like, all right, I did it. And I hate it in the moment, but it challenges me to be better. And he is literally an athlete in here. And I think that type of thing doesn't leave you, you know? And he will always say, hey, look, when I was on the field, there were no excuses, right? If you had to catch the ball, you had to catch the ball. Or hey, where's the next person that can catch the ball? And so that's how he has it here, where we require our staff to be like that.
Right.
Hey, look, if you're having a bad day, don't bring it in here. You know, just step up to the plate, be friendly, be what you need to be, and then, you know, off the field, be how you need to be. But in here, he requires a certain thing.
So, athlete is a mindset that's off exercising. It's just a way of life.
Yeah, it'll never leave you.
Never.
When you make it to that level, you have to be wired differently. In order to succeed and last, you have to be wired differently. So, no matter if I never put cleats on ever again, like that mindset will always be a part of me. And I'm thankful for it because it has gotten me to where I am today. And it just kind of challenges everyone around me. So like Shanae touched upon, like when I was with the Ravens, like coaches always had a backup in mind.
Right.
So, okay, if this kid isn't playing well for 3 consecutive weeks, I'm going to get on the waiver wire and I'm going to see another kid that I can bring in to replace this kid. It's a business. Same thing here. Like I keep a mental note. If someone's not performing, I'm going to the emails looking for an application because it's a business, you know, and nothing is personal. We'll love you from afar, but you know, at the end of the day, Sunset has to go on and has to thrive. So the game has definitely wired me that way, and I love it.
So everybody that I have talked to, when they talk about being wild, they this mindset, ambition mindset. And some people have argued, when y'all listen to the other podcasts, whether some people can be born with this or can be learned. What do y'all feel like this can, because like, I feel like that too. I agree with everything you're saying. Can someone learn this stuff or do they have to be born?
As far as ambition, I think ambition is something that, in my personal opinion, that you're born with.
Okay.
I think that you can't teach heart. I think heart and ambition probably go hand in hand. I think a go-getter is somebody that is relentless.
Okay.
You know, I know several guys that, you know, I grew up with playing basketball, and they just have a natural ambition due to the environment they were born and raised. And you can put them in a wild, and they'll come out with food and leading a pack. But I know some other guys that have been given everything, and it's just everything is fine and dandy in life. You know, and I think they've been raised for so long a certain way that it's so hard for them to break that mold and be like, all right, now you got to go fight for a position. Right. They're not ready for that. Right. You know, and going back to the NFL thing, I never really feared going against a first rounder because a first rounder got everything. You know, they were given everything. They probably went to Alabama, LSU, or Clemson, or one of those SEC schools, and they were used to being in the limelight, you know, coaches kiss their butt, all of that. I feared going against a free agent. A free agent was somebody who had nothing given to them. They had to scratch and claw just to put a helmet on to be on that field. And they're willing to do anything because they got to feed their family. Right. So a free agent is someone who, and I was a free agent, so I knew. Right. I knew what it looked like. I knew what it smelled like. I knew what it was.
You could smell the walk. The walk was different.
Yeah, but when I saw a first round or second rounder, I went at them harder because I said everything that you were given, I wasn't, and I'm going to make everybody watching this film know that you should have been given that and you should have to work for it. So yeah, going back to your question, I think the ambition is definitely environment and upbringing, and maybe it can be taught, you know. But from my personal experience, I would definitely lean towards you know, being born with it.
I actually agree. Okay. And I might have to drop the mic on this one and let it happen. I would agree. I don't think it can be taught. I think it's something you are born with. I don't think leaders can be taught. I think you can be taught how to lead, but to be a leader, and I know this because we tried to put people in leadership positions and they just did not have that it. You know, I could teach them, oh, hey, go tell the staff to do this, or go sweep, and they could do it. But to be a leader, it takes a different mindset. Like you said, you're wired differently. It's almost like you see the whole playing field and you are able to, almost like a quarterback, able to see who's open and who I can throw it to, who's not open. Let me pass it to somewhere else. That to me is something that can't be taught.
No, so that goes to the question, how do y'all build y'all team? Because, I have talked to, like I said, when you listen to their podcast, they have people who have had businesses and getting employees, and that is a whole ministry in itself. How do y'all go about that?
Yeah, it's definitely not easy because you're bringing together so many different personalities. And you're expecting them to mesh and to work together.
Yes.
Right? And like we said before, we're not looking for, the world's best barista on the East Coast. We want a good person.
Right.
I can teach, a 5-year-old how to make a smoothie with consistent work,
Right.
So not that we would hire a 5-year-old, but I'm just going to say
that's against the law.
Yeah.
Labor laws.
Right. Yeah. I'm just going to say that, we just want good people. I can teach you how to make a smoothie. I can't teach you how to be a good person. At the age of 18, you're either a good person or you're not. So we want good people here, and we want them to, we want to give them opportunity. And we also want people to come in knowing that, you're going to have up and down days, but, we have different parts of the house. So some people may not feel like, being so talkative during the day. I'm not going to put them on the register.
Right.
We're going to work with them, right? We're going to put them in the back where they can get work done and kind of stay in the zone.
Right.
So it's all about also listening to your employees after you hire them. And kind of sit back and watching who does what, who can do what, who can't do what. If I have someone who doesn't have the best customer service skills, you're definitely not going to be on the register.
Right.
Because that person on the register is our brand. That's the first thing you see when you walk in. So there's definitely a lot of evaluation that goes into, trying to hire people. And then you also have, when I think back about it, the hiring process is a guessing game.
It is.
Because
Russian roulette.
Because anybody can prep themselves in the mirror for 15 minutes a day and then go in and kill a one-on-one interview.
Right.
But over time, habits start to become consistent that you'll see, and you'll start to have a better grip on who you hire.
So the way we build our team, we interview everybody that comes in.
Okay.
So you automatically interview with the owners because it's a vibe, right? And that's like the new term, it's a vibe, right? But it truly is a vibe. So when we interview you, like Gerrard said, we're not looking for the best barista. We're not even looking for someone that's super outgoing and super loud and chatty. No, we're just looking for someone who has a vibe, right? Because we can work with that. Right. One thing that I always ask in an interview is, would you consider yourself a leader, right? And this question for me is almost a trick question, and I hate to say that, but it is, because on this team, everyone is not a leader, right? There are moments when you are a leader, and the same exact person, there's moments where you are a part of the following squad, right? It doesn't make you less than, it just means in this moment we need you to follow, right? So depending on how an employee, and hopefully no employees or anyone interested in trying to be hired is listening, because this is a question, but depending on how this person answers, to me says a lot about your vibe, right? If you're constantly in that leader mode, that's good. But even the greatest leaders have to take advice from their right hand or left hand man, right? So for me, it's bigger than just, oh yes, I'm a leader. Are there times where you can fall back? Because I'm a leader sometimes, and there's times where I'm like, all right, you take it, you got it, you know what to do. And it's vice versa. But if we're always so dominant and so assertive, it doesn't make for a conducive team. So that to me is the biggest thing. The vibe that I get, the energy that we get, and then how are you at being a leader and how are you at being submissive? Everything is balance, right?
Of course.
That's the balance to life. You have to be a leader, sometimes you have to be submissive. So that to me is how we build our team.
No, so most people, when they don't like a coworker, they can go home. Y'all family.
Yeah.
Y'all.
There is no going home.
So how do y'all develop, boundaries and healthiness and all that? Because it can be a lot. And like Jay-Z said, nobody wants in the family feud. So how do y'all balance that? Because that's a lot.
Yeah, it is natural that sometimes you'll butt heads, right?
Of course.
Not only being in a business together, but just being family.
Right, of course.
So when you mix both together, obviously you're going to butt heads.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, we all understand that we're family first, and that we're all trying to come together to make this thing run as smoothly as possible. So whatever we agree on or don't agree on, we'll talk it out, and then if we need to take space for 5, 10, 15 minutes, I'll get into an argument with her, and then I'll call her back 20 minutes later with a different accent.
And I have to laugh. I'm like, get off my phone, you know? Just break the ice.
Because at the end of the day, you know, me personally thinking like nothing is worth me getting in a fight with my family member over this business. You know, they come first and foremost. And like we said earlier on in the session, is that love is the center of everything in this business and in this family. So if you're losing love, something has to change. But everything should evolve back to love and fun, you know, and making this a beautiful picture. This is our canvas, and you know those moments do arise. But at the end of the day, you have to know how to simmer down and kind of, you know, de-escalate the situation and just to get things done.
No, so thank you guys. Now we're almost about to wrap up. Y'all been here just doing wonderful me. It's been a vibe. Thank you guys so much. But here comes the fun part. So y'all have a playlist. Now, y'all playlist is fire. Y'all want to talk about it?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's go. Okay, let's go. You tell me.
Yeah.
I saw Jay-Z on there. I saw a little old school, new school. Like.
Okay. So our biggest thing, one of our songs was Lovely Day.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And to me, that is like, that song just makes you happy. That's the song you play Saturday morning when you're cleaning your house, windows, and the air just comes through. You know? So that to us is what Sunset is. And then again, it's my mom and myself. We're the only two female owners in this firm.
You always say I am every woman, because I felt I was like, okay, I was like, I am a woman. I was like, hey.
Yes, okay, we're the only two females, and you know they say, you know, listen, it's a man's world, but it wouldn't be nothing
without a woman.
There you go. So, and my brother and my father make it known, like, this business would not be half of what it is without you and your mother. So we have to throw that in there too.
And then y'all have my favorite DMV very own Emma Marie. The one thing I love her. Oh my God, I can't wait for her to release new music. I need her to release ASAP.
She is just.
She's a vibe.
Yes.
She's a vibe.
And that song, One Thing was One Thing, right?
Yes.
It has that go-go beat.
Yes.
You know? You can't help but just vibe out to it.
Yes, no, like literally. So now we're coming up to the Wild Award. Now, you guys, you know, we talked about it. To our people who's the first time listening, the Wild Award is given to basically somebody you know. You don't have to know them. They paved the way, because we know that we have not gotten here by ourselves.
Yes.
Whether it was somebody we saw on TV, whether it was somebody we know personally, they inspired us to get here. And so we like to give our flowers before someone passes away. We want to give them while they're here on earth, if they're still alive to be on earth. So here comes the Wild Award. So now,
Wild Award, okay.
You've been having a hard time thinking about this, because I was like, you asked me before the show. It's like, okay, so, and you can do multiple people, boo. You can do multiple people.
Okay. Wild Award. I have been taking some time to think, and again, it's more than one person. I'm going to cover a lot of ground on this one.
Okay.
Simply because, you know, in order for us to be here, a lot of ground had to be covered, physically and mentally, right? So I'm going to give the Wild Award to all of my ancestors.
Ooh, that's the first one
Really?
That's the first one. That's the first time I heard that one.
Really? Okay. And I really do mean that, because I think that we stand on their backs, right? Mm-hmm. Nothing we do, we created on our own, we thought on our own, and I'm talking engineering outside of Sunset. So I do want to give credit to our ancestors that came before us. You know, there's many nights, I think about it, and sometimes it brings me to tears. The many nights they were hiding children under floorboards, or, you know, trying to run from someone and trying to cross over to the north. And because of them, I'm here. You know, my grandmother is 100, and my great grandmother is 101 years old, right? I gotta say that again. My great grandmother is 101 years old. So she's seen so much. So when I talk to her, I have to thank her all the time, because I don't even know half of the things she had to do to get here. I've heard some of the stories growing up in Georgia, running from the KKK and things like that. So I'm thankful to them, because literally because of her, I'm here, you know?
can't hide from this one. You gotta answer this one.
Yeah, I would honestly say my Aunt Jackie, who we found.
Yes.
And the reason I say that is because like the story is so funky. You know, somebody hearing it from an outsider standpoint, you know, Shanae always refers to it as like a diamond in the rough. You know, so you know, just her. I'm not gonna say sacrificing, but her, or should I say God, having us come past that book. You know, and kind of piecing things together, and him knowing that we would make what we have made is just mind-blowing to me, because I can't imagine how many people wouldn't be in a healthier standpoint and position right now if it wasn't for Sunset. Yeah. So, and that's one thing that we have to keep in mind as well is all the people that we have helped to, you know, come around to live in a healthier lifestyle. You know, that's a blessing in itself. So in a way, I would definitely say my Aunt Jackie for sure.
Okay, so anything before we wrap up that you want to tell people, a little bit tips, anything? What's the final say before we go, y'all?
Well, I want to say hi and shout out to all the Bisons. You
know, HU. You know.
So I know that this is, you know, you're the radio station of Howard. So we definitely want to say and send our love to everyone in the HU family. So.
Yeah. And we want to thank you for giving us this opportunity too.
No problem.
Because you didn't have to do this, and it's just another great platform for Black people to congregate and to also hear success stories. Yeah. Because we don't hear too many success stories too often. We watch the news and they have, you know, a bunch of other things on, but this is a great platform for entrepreneurs and people that will someday plan to be an entrepreneur. So, you know, thank you for this platform. And anyone listening, feel free to stop by, you know, if you want to purchase something or if you just want to come in and talk to us. We're down for both. So you can catch us at Sunset Raw Juice Bar Maple Lawn or Sunset Raw Juice Bar at Owings Mills.
Instagrams? Okay, we know it's the Instagram, y'all. You got to drop the Instagram at you.
Yeah, so the Instagram name is just Sunset Raw Juice Bar. And then we're on Facebook as well, Sunset Raw Juice Bar as well.
Are y'all doing mentorship? Because I think a lot of people might want mentorship from you guys.
Hey, I would be down for it. Again, we just started. We opened this December 1st. So, Melissa, you know, it took forever for me to even email you back.
But we got it together now. We got it together, guys.
And you were so patient with me, so I appreciate that. But I would love to eventually do something like that. That is honestly, and this is the thing about Sunset. We are not just Sunset. We're finding ways to branch and heal our community and help our community reach back. So mentorship is definitely on the table in the future.
All right, guys. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you for listening to another episode of Wild. Please tune in, comment, and share. And also follow me on IG at _wild, WILD, human, HUMAN _. Once again, my name is Melissa. This is Wild on glasshouseradio.com, part of the Howard University Radio Network. See you later. Peace.